So the van life drama continues. I am getting closer and closer to finishing my propane fireplace install. And yesterday I went to multiple places to get it filled up. The first place, actually, I tried it 2 days in a row. I went the first day to two different U-Haul locations, and both of them were out of commission. And then the next day, yesterday, I went to Country Max at one place, and they didn't have the right valve for filling the propane tank. And I went to another Country Max and finally got it filled up there. And it was a real pain in the ass because it's in a hard place, like right up against the underside of the van, and it's difficult to reach. And I had to like tip the guy $10, to do it. And then I got home and I turned on the heater, and then the sparker, and there was no gas, So like then it started to blizzard. So like this whole thing has just been going on for months, and it's really draining all my motivation to like work on van life or work on YouTube or anything. Honestly, it's just so frustrating. And like this whole second, or like I don't even know what level we're at. We're like level 11 drama, like just drama after drama after drama. The thing that happened before this was like I needed, because I said the tank is like, here's the wall of the van, the tank is right up close to the wall. So I had to get this specialty like L nozzle, for the fill thing, so it would get it away from pointing straight into the wall. And the company that was supposed to send it, they sent it via USPS, and USPS has been incredibly unreliable. So of course they lose the package. There goes 2 weeks of the van build not being able to do anything. And then like finally I kind of have to harass the customer service person to like do something about it and send me another one. So I finally get it a couple days later, and then like this whole like BS happens about like struggling to find some place to fill it. And then today I thought that I would finally get it finished, and then I realized that the reason why there was no flow is because I didn't, unscrew the tank and like open it up. So I go down there and I do that, and then this like huge flume of propane comes out. And so I turn it off and like, fuck. And apparently there's like the regulator that goes into the tank. I don't know if the regulator is like defective or, like the threads, like it's just letting stuff through. I tightened it as much as I could, but it's like the propane is just pouring out through the thread holes. So, but then I just had to quit on that because it started to rain. I hate New York so much. I feel like this is why they had to come up with that dumbass like I love New York campaign, because no one fucking loves New York. It's miserable here. It's cold and cloudy almost every single day in the winter. I hate it so much here. And I'm not like a skier, so there's just no joy in winter. I do, snow is pretty, but other than that, it's miserable here. It's cold inside, like my fingers are cold right now. No matter how much I wear on my body, like if I have even just the tiniest amount of skin exposed, I'm cold, I would do anything to move away from this godforsaken frozen hellhole, but I can't because my parents are living here. They're both in their mid to late 70s, and they're having chronic health problems, and they need someone to help them with things, and they're divorced, so they're living like, 30 minutes away from each other. And this is why I got into the whole van life thing, because I thought that if I had the van, that I can go back and forth and it would be really convenient, but like van life is hard. There's so many practical issues that you have to figure out, and it's expensive and it's exhausting. And then anyways, like the next level of drama with the propane heater is that like it stinks. Like if you don't know, propane is odorless, but then they add this like horrible rotten egg smell to it, so that obviously for safety reasons, like if it's leaking, that it's leaking. But just dealing with like getting it filled up, it reeks like rotten eggs. And then the smell just like lingers around the van, like even though there's no actual leak. I mean, obviously there's a leak, when I open up the thing, but when the nozzle is closed, it still fucking reeks of propane, because it just, like, I don't know, the rotten egg particles like get into the materials around the van, and you can just smell, even if you can smell trace amounts of it, it's just horrible. And it just got me thinking, like, this isn't what I wanted in the first place. Like the whole reason that I got into van life was that so I could have this space that felt like everything was the way that I wanted it, and it was like natural and there weren't any disgusting artificial chemicals. And I wanted the wood stove, but my mom, where I'm primarily living right now, was just like adamant about, no fireplace here. And I know that it's like we live in a suburb, so it's probably against the town code, or I know it's against the town code, but like no one would have given a fuck. Like if I was just living here on my own and it wasn't, my mom putting up a stink about it, like no one would care. My neighbors would not care. There are other people that have wood stoves and no one complains about it. They smell really nice, and yeah, they put some pollution in the air, but so doesn't anything that you burn. And it just would have been so much nicer to have that in the van and just have like this beautiful smell and like the ritual of chopping up wood instead of having to go to fucking Country Max and have someone put this rotten egg garbage under my van, So like, I don't even know, like if I want to finish the install now. I don't even know, like part of me just wants to take this stupid fucking tank and just throw it into the garbage and throw the heater into the garbage with it and buy a wood stove and just like somehow make that work. Like the goal is to spend half my time at my mom's house, half my time at my dad's house. And I can use the stove in my dad's house, but then the question becomes like, if my mom won't let me use a wood burning stove like here, and I'm here half the time, what am I supposed to do? Like, how do I keep the van warm? And I thought about like, can I do it with electric heater? But I've tried an electric heater and it doesn't have enough power. Like I did that when I was at my aunt and uncle's house for Thanksgiving, and it was like 25 degrees and I was just fucking freezing. It's just not powerful enough. And if you get one that's powerful enough, it draws so much power that you have to have a special hookup for your van, and then you also have to install a special hookup on a house. So, like I'd have to install that at my mom's house. It would be expensive. I'd have to pay for it. And then also I wouldn't be able to use it anywhere else except for my mom's house. So like the solution that I would really want to have, and then even if I could afford it, like it's a problem because I was watching this other video from a YouTuber who was into van life, and she had a van on some like just like deserted property out in the middle of nowhere. But like because of regulations, she had to dig like sewage, pipes, even though she didn't need it. So she had to spend thousands of dollars on that. And of course, you spend thousands of dollars buying the land in the first place. And it's like, where am I going to find land in this like suburban area that's, reasonably close to my parents? God damn it. It just, I feel trapped, I feel like the system just does everything it possibly can to make it just virtually impossible to get free, just to live a simple life. Like that is all I want. I just want to be in my van, my tiny little van, and just have that little space to myself where I can have, a reasonable heating source and just not bother anyone and not have anyone bother me. It's like, and make videos and write and, create music and stuff. Like that's all I want. I don't want like a mansion. I really think that I don't want the propane fireplace, honestly, but it's like, it's going to be really hard to sell it. I don't know that I would be able to get much of anything for it because it's such a specialty item. And so, and then it's going to like, if I do that and I have to spend another $1,000 on a wood stove, presuming I can figure out a way to make that work, that's going to put me even farther behind in my van build because I can't do anything else until I finish that, because I have to be able to finish the roof. You can't finish the roof boards if you still have to put in a different chimney for a wood fireplace. I just wish there was like a sane state, like if they just took one of the states of the United States of America and just turned it into a place where like sane people could move, like hopefully it would be warm and like vitamin D. But then of course the challenge would be getting my parents to move there, which is like the whole problem. It's just so frustrating because everything in my life is like piled up in front of this problem of like having my own space, getting my van build done. And I don't know. I guess it's just I feel like it's just gonna be another of those like ask forgiveness, not permission moments, like when I put in my windows and my mom didn't want me to do that. And then when I ordered the propane fireplace, my mom didn't want me to do that. So honestly, I probably should have just done that from the beginning. I should have just bought the wood stove like I wanted to and just got it set up. And then, my mom just would have had to deal with it like she'd had to deal with all the other things that I did. And then, she ends up being fine with it because she sees that it was the right solution all along. Another reason I feel trapped is that I've been watching a lot of outdoor van life and outdoor like YouTubers, and just like, bushcraft, making fires, things like that. And it just makes me feel so depressed being stuck in this house. And like, there are places that I could go hiking around here, but first of all, like winter is just, I don't know. I don't enjoy being outside in winter. And second of all, like I've hiked everywhere that I could possibly hike in any reasonable distance around here. And any place that I could go farther away is going to cost me a lot of money, which subtracts money from the van build. And like, I want to be ready to travel by the summer, but as far as things have been going right now, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. I think my ideal situation would be to live in a tent at the foot of a mountain, someplace where there was lots of hiking nearby and where you could like just get on a trail and just go for days and then, like come back and chill in the tent. Like working on a van it feels so wasteful because you have to buy all of this shit that comes in cardboard boxes, the propane fireplace, the windows, all of this stuff. It's all unnatural synthetic materials, and it just creates so much garbage. So much garbage for this thing that is supposed to be about minimalism, But then if you get things secondhand, I mean, sometimes you can get really lucky with good quality stuff that lasts a long time, but a lot of times, it doesn't. It breaks down constantly, which requires you to spend a bunch of money and maybe waste even more garbage on ordering stuff to fix the thing. And even more, I sort of have this like unrealistic dream of just living out of a backpack for the rest of my life. I think that would be ideal, because I always feel the less stuff I have, the more happy I am. But again, it's like I'm tied to this place where it is impossible to live out of a backpack because it's so cold. Like if I was living in, California or something, it would be more practical. But in New York, where it gets down to like 0 degrees or sub-0 degrees sometimes, like you can't live inside a backpacking tent, even if you had enough clothes and warm enough sleeping bag to make it work at night. Like how would you get any work done? Your fingers wouldn't even move inside the tent. Your laptop would freeze. You'd have no power. So I don't know. I'm so frustrated with the system in general. Just feeling like everything is a dead end. Everything you try to do, it's like a million roadblocks in front of you, trying to prevent you from getting where you want to go. So I don't know. I have no positive message to share with you in this video. I just wanted to lament my problems. Yeah. Sorry.